Hi everyone, Big Mac here. Welcome back to Let's Play Yoshi Story for the Nintendo 64. In this episode, we're going through stage 2-1, the Bone Dragon Pit. So we are going down deep in the cavern, and hopefully the Yoshis can find their way out. Yoshi's already having a bit of a hard time, but unfortunately, even in the darkest caves, there are these little hints of light. So in fact, if we find those, we may find useful items, such as a melon. We'll have to keep an eye out for those as we continue going through this particular stage. So we also have a number of enemies that we have to try and watch out for. So including these spore guys, I forget their actual names. But unfortunately we have to make sure that Yoshi doesn't try and jump on them, otherwise Yoshi's gonna get in trouble. As we can see, those little spore things are... Yoshi, where are you going? Oh! Yoshi got distracted by the melon and didn't see where he was going. So in fact, when you lose a Yoshi, he gets captured by Baby Bowser. So unfortunately, you do lose that Yoshi for at least a little while. It is possible, actually, to retrieve a Yoshi that you have lost, and we'll explore how to do that in this particular level. Most levels, when you actually do have to start over again, you will start from the highest numbered Miss Warp that you happen to land on. So of course if you didn't step on any, then you'll just start at the beginning of the stage. Fortunately, this Yoshi was a little more careful about his surroundings and was able to navigate that particular hole a little bit more carefully. Poochie the dog there was there to try and give Yoshi the hint to maybe start sniffing around and help find a particular item. So as we saw, that was one of the super happy hearts for Yoshi, which is going to be very helpful in determining what stage we can take next. Of course, here Yoshi is defeating the Bone Dragons, hence why this place is called the Bone Dragon Pit. The Bone Dragons, like I mentioned earlier, can be defeated in a number of ways. One of them that we've been doing is we can stomp on them twice, do a ground pound on top of their head. The other option is we can actually just throw eggs at its head too. So I believe 2 eggs or 2 ground pounds, either way, will enable us to defeat the Bone Dragon. One thing you guys may have noticed there was we were getting a lot of little happy hearts, so we got those in two different ways. One, we found one, and the second one was we collected 6 melons in a row. So of course, when you have a little happy heart, when you manage to eat one of those, Yoshi gains a number of useful skills. One of them being that Yoshi becomes temporarily invincible. So that makes it easier for him to get around the stage, but you do have to keep in mind that Yoshi is still subject to getting pushed around by particular objects. So he's not immune to everything, just from getting hurt. Another useful thing about finding a little happy heart is you can actually have an unlimited supply of eggs. That would be nice here in this battle against the 3-headed Bone Dragon. Hopefully we get something good out of defeating a 3-headed Bone Dragon. Let's see here. Anything useful? Ooh, 3 melons. That sure is nice. Anyway, but getting back to Yoshi's superpowers, Yoshi gets unlimited use of eggs while in super happy mode. If you don't have any eggs, if you try and throw an egg, one will magically appear for you. So you can actually try and pretend you're going to throw it, cancel your throw, and then that'll actually keep that egg in your reserve. So you don't have to necessarily go around finding a particular Yoshi egg block in order to find more eggs. The last useful hint, or last useful power about when you are in super happy mode, and again we are right here, is, well, there's actually a couple other things. One, sometimes in some levels, special coin formations will appear when you are super happy. That doesn't mean that every level has one, and admittedly, sometimes it's just useful for coins, and depending if you've done a different path in it, of course, you may not see it altogether. But it is kind of an indicator that maybe you are on the right track. The last possibility for when you're super happy is if you try ground pounding, or pounding the ground, you actually have a couple of options. One is if there are a bunch of fruits and bubbles, doing a simple ground pound will pop anything that is inside of a bubble. The other useful thing is if there are any enemies nearby, such as Shy Guys, you will actually... Shy Guys? Well, there's a white Shy... I'll talk about him in just a moment. But in terms of all the other Shy Guys that we've encountered, if Yoshi is super happy and does a ground pound, then the Shy Guys will actually also transform into Yoshi's Lucky Fruit. Yeah, I believe it's Lucky Fruit, not just favorite fruit. So in fact, that is a quick way for Yoshi to collect some fruits, as well as regain some health. So in overall, it's a pretty good situation for Yoshi. So, now for this white Shy Guy, this guy actually pops up in every level if you have lost a Yoshi in some form. Either Yoshi lost health, or if Yoshi fell down a hole, or got stuck somewhere. It happens. It happens a lot to me, unfortunately. But the white Shy Guy basically will count as an extra life. So what we have to do is we have to carry this Shy Guy to the end of the level with us. So as long as nothing happens to our current Yoshi, as long as our current Yoshi does not get taken captive by Baby Bowser and his crew, we'll be fine. So we'll have this white Shy Guy joining us along, and at the next time that we choose a stage and we have the Yoshi Select screen, we can actually pick we can choose the white Shy Guy, and the Shy Guy will actually go and retrieve a Yoshi from us that was taken captive by Baby Bowser. Now, I am not entirely sure on if you have more than one lost, which one it picks up. I think it picks up the most recent lost one, although I could be wrong on that. So feel free to investigate that by yourselves in order to figure out if that's true. But it will retrieve one in that particular stage for you. So there is one white Shy Guy in every level. So I've shown him in a couple of videos, but not all of them. So you might have to investigate and look around to see maybe where the white Shy Guy is. And again, like I mentioned, the white Shy Guy will only appear if you've already lost a Yoshi. And I believe it has to be one of the main 6 colors of Yoshi. What? There are more? I'll get to that in just a little bit too in this particular episode. Although I could be wrong on this part as well. Anyway, we have a Carry the Melons minigame here. We made it a little bit easier on ourselves by looking or checking out the path in front of us before we actually went through it. But we found another little happy heart. Yoshi is super happy and revealed the letter R. So like I already mentioned, every stage has a special letter for you to read. So anyway, getting back out of that minigame, there is a coin formation here that our Yoshi needs to investigate. Let's pound it. Nothing? Darn it. Oh. That is actually one of the few cases where, you know, if it says for Yoshi to ground pound something and it doesn't work, then that's one of the rare exceptions, I think. What Yoshi's trying to do here is actually a tulip, and I'll talk about that in just a little bit, but there's also a hint about this big egg. The tulip actually lets you navigate Yoshi kind of like a cannonball in one of 8 main directions. So you use the cursor to indicate where you want to go, and in fact you can navigate and Yoshi will bounce around a little bit. Up here, there might be something for you to investigate. So very much like the white Shy Guy, keep it with you until you reach the end of the level, until you collect all your 30 fruits. So, in fact, I believe that is a white Yoshi? And like you mentioned, white Yoshis are a little bit more special than your regular Yoshis. I believe the white Yoshi as well as the black Yoshi, again, I'm kind of starting to dissolve into this, I'm not sure, but I think this is true. But with the white and the black Yoshis, actually, any fruit that you pick up counts as a favorite fruit, so you'll actually regain 3 units of health. And the other cool thing is, white Yoshis and black Yoshis are not affected negatively by chili peppers. I'm not sure if that applies to other creatures that are, that taste bad to the Yoshis, but I know that is definitely true for chili peppers. The black and the white Yoshis, they can eat chili peppers without a problem. So, of course, we've been navigating around here. We saw a question mark box. So, usually when we encounter those, we might want to either throw an egg at it, stomp on it, or if there are multiple ones, we might want to push them around and have them run into each other. But we defeated the last bone dragon, and we actually found our 3rd happy heart for this stage. So this allows us to access all 4 possible stages in level 3. Of course, we kind of went a roundabout way, so I'm actually going to go ahead and skip a little bit back to where we had that giant chasm, where we found the minigame, actually. Here we go. So one thing that we do have to pay attention to is there was Miss Warp 3. If we had kept going down, here we would have found our first instance of the tulip, as well as kind of, you know, basically it says the thing that I already mentioned about how eating the tulip worked. So it's fun to just bounce around just to see where Yoshi flies into. Yoshi, where are you going? Yoshi popped a melon and we saw, so let's see if we can go back there. And in fact, that is a useful thing to figure out. So notice that even though we popped that balloon, or that bubble, but then left, and then came back, it was actually in bubble form again. So that's actually particularly useful in the case where, you know, you throw you pop a balloon, or you pop a bubble, sorry. You pop a bubble to find a melon, and then it falls down a hole or something. You can come back later and try it again. Of course, like I mentioned at the beginning, we have these little patches of light inside the dark cave. So it turns out that the last melons are in these patches of light. And indeed, we have collected 30 full melons for stage 2-1. Nicely done, Yoshi. As you guys see, we had a melon background, which is just indicative of the fact that we got 30 melons. If it were just a grab bag of all the different fruits, then it would just be a happy heart in the background, which is also nice to look at. So let's go ahead and read a page from the storybook. As they continued to look for happiness, the Yoshis got lost in a dark cave. Inside lived Bone Dragon. If the Yoshis stayed, they'd surely be eaten. They escaped, of course. No Yoshi wants to become lunch for a dragon. The page turned, and the Yoshis grew happier. So that concludes page 2, stage 2-1 in particular. So heading off to level 3, the summit. So we have clouds, we have mountains, we have cool things. So feel free to pick your favorite level at this point. Until then, this is Big Mac saying, later.